There we go. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining this live with my friend Michael. I'm Laurent, one of the co-founders of Schoolified. I've talked to many of you. I'm not familiar with this new kind of a technology I'm using, but that's what we have to go through to learn new technologies, new things, and creates benefits. And that's kind of the foundation of Schoolified. For those of you who have met me, that's the reason I started Schoolified is I was seeing my kids struggling with their remote learning. I was seeing educators struggling to actually make sure they were able to teach their kids, whether from their school or, as private tutors. And, long story short, we've built Schoolified to facilitate that relationship and create an amazing learning environment, which was actually built for education and not just, things that we try to assemble, your Zoom, your whiteboard, and, two dozen other technologies. And, we're at this stage now that, we've talked to hundreds of teachers in the past 2 years since we've been building this. And as part of our DNA, what we absolutely want to do is give you the tools, but we understand that tools are not enough. You actually need support, and there are lots of books, lots of ebooks, lots of webinars, and all those things. But the reality is that if you're serious about tutoring, you actually need professional help. And that's where we're partnering with Michael and others to actually support you in that journey of becoming a successful online tutor. And, that's where today we're announcing this program. We've talked to many of you already, but now's the day where we're launching registration, and I'm bringing in Michael to actually talk about this whole program, So Michael, it's yours, tell us about it.
Perfect. Thank you, Laurent, and welcome everybody. So my name is Michael Gibben from Coach for Tutors, and I'm thrilled to be here partnering with Schoolified to bring a program to help tutors to grow and develop their tutoring practices. As Laurent said, Schoolified is there to help students and help families and help learners grow. But as tutors, we also need that opportunity to professionally develop. And so we're offering 2 courses for tutors. They're going to be, each one is 4 weeks, 1-hour classes per week. Our first one is going to be our launch course. So this is ideal if you're starting your tutoring business, you're really wanting to learn the ropes, you're wanting to learn a lot of those key skills you need to help navigate your tutoring business and develop a very strong and thriving tutoring practice. So our 4 weeks, what we're going to cover is the first week is finding your specific niche and ideal clients. So that's a very important part, to really have a foundation and an understanding of who you help, how you help them, what problem you solve. We're going to go into that and explore those pieces. Our second week, we're going to look into marketing to your ideal clients outside and inside Schoolified. How to market to Schoolified clients. We're going to go into further depth for those areas. Our third week, we're going to look at sales. And that is a very important part for any edupreneur out there. And that's an area that can be difficult at times. I know when I started my own tutoring practice, there was a lot of difficulty there with, oh my gosh, how do I price myself? What do I do? And it's really, we're going to go over and help you together with price points, key sales points, valuing your worth and what you bring. And at the same time, making sure there's a really great thing going between you and your clients. And our fourth week is content for your tutoring course, because you're having a tutoring course that's going to be thriving and booming and it's going to get people drawn to you. Let's help you to really make it the best we can. So that's going to be our first stream or track, is our launch course. Our second one is going to be our growth or scale course. And what we're going to be doing there, this is very exciting, is we're going to be getting you ready to take your already successful one-on-one tutoring business and move it to the next level. So what we're going to explore there is transitioning from one-on-one to groups for you. So our first week is going to be really covering, okay, you're ready, you feel you've hit that point where your one-on-one is at its cap or near its cap. You got to continue to grow and build and see the sales numbers and client numbers grow. Time to transition to groups, because also your time is valuable. Second week, we're going to go over group projections, marketing. How do you put your groups classes out there? How do you market your classes? How do you set up the pricing for classes? How many people are in your, there's so many factors that we're going to help you with here at Schoolified. Third week is going to be content for your group tutoring, Because at group tutoring, there is a difference between that and a customized one-on-one program for a student, as some of you already know. So we're going to work together to make sure you have excellent, exciting content to deliver in your group classes to get families coming back week after week, after month, after year, ready to work with you. And our last part, and this is really a very exciting next milestone for your business, is once you've done your one-on-one, you've got your group classes going, things are clicking in the right direction. This next step, hiring team members. And our goal that fourth week is to give you the foundation and pieces to start hiring team members on board to work with you in your tutoring practice. So that is what those first 4 parts of the growth course are going to cover, the growth track. So at the end of the launch class, you're going to receive a certificate of completion, and your only requirement for entry into the class is you must have created an account on Schoolified. So you go to www.schoolified.com and set up the account. And if you already have an account, you're already on the way. So that's all you do. One website, click, sign up, and you have access to this exciting launch course. For the growth course, the only requirement there is you have taught one-on-one session with a student on Schoolified. You've had one session with one student, you're in and you're ready to explore these next steps as to scale your business and take it to that next level that you deserve and your clients can continue to benefit from. Yep. So that's what we're all about and what's coming up.
That's super exciting. I can't tell you, Michael, how excited I am because, as I said, when I did I think I met with over 300 tutors in the past 2 weeks. Wow. So a lot of people I've talked to, and I've said the same thing every time. So apologies, some of our watchers or listeners are kind of hearing this again. But I started Schoolified for 2 reasons. One, my kids, because I could not stand the way they were actually struggling with online education. That was the first part. I did it also for the people behind this, educators, tutors, whatever you want to call yourself. Okay, is that you're really trying to do good, but you're struggling with technology. And then when you're struggling with technology, you're also struggling to actually build your own business, right? I've always said educators are those essential workers, which are so important because they're crafting our future generations. So our DNA, and I'm kind of repeating myself, is really about building everything that is actually possible to make you thrive. And we get it. It's hard. It's a change of habit. Many tutors start by one-on-one and they're perfectly happy with it. But the reality is that you need to actually be able to actually scale your business. And you can't do that just by doing one-on-one unless you want to work 30, 40 hours a week, which is mind-blowing. And, if you're an educator at heart, I think what you want to do is make sure that our society grows. And you want to make yourself the more accessible possible. And that's where group classes are also beneficial, because when you do groups, your price point or your price entry point for students is much lower. You're becoming more accessible. And then the better effect is that if you sell, it's simple math. And by the way, if you haven't checked it, go on our website. Again, we have like a quick tool that's called the income calculator that will actually show you by the numbers why group tutoring actually makes sense. Okay. And I understand many families think, oh yeah, but when I'm in group, my kid is not going to get the attention they require and all that. That is perfectly true if you're trying to manage this with, current technology, your Zoom, your whiteboard, etc. But we've built our classroom specifically for group tutoring. It works perfectly on those one-on-ones. Okay, perfectly. You can ditch Zoom, ditch Skype, ditch whatever you're using, okay, and use Schoolified for those one-on-ones. But for groups, that's where we shine because you're capable of seeing what students are doing. You're capable of providing that private attention they actually will require. And that's really where, we see that there's a massive opportunity for all of those tutors who are either starting and who will be going to their launch, or tutors who already have, a decent business where they're one-on-ones and they want to get to the next level. And, it's part of what we do. It's part of what we've been doing. It's part of what we will do, always actually support you in that growth. And that's why, you might say, oh yeah, but, I need to register and I need to create an account. It's complicated, all that. Yes, but it's free. Okay. You have nothing to lose. You have nothing to lose. Yes, we will start charging at one point because, like any business, you have to put a bit of skin in the game. But the good news is that you might have seen this offer already, is that if you give one group class of 3 students or more before July 1st, you get at minimum 14 months of free subscription to Schoolified. Okay. 14 months. So you have time to kind of take advantage of all of your learnings that you've gotten for this course, of everything that we talk to. I'm very accessible, or try to be as much as possible, as well as other members from the team. We're here to support you. So, that's all I have to say. I mean, I can say a lot more, but, in the interest of time, I want to keep this short. So.
No, perfect. Thanks, Laurent. And definitely as well for tutors as well, when you're signing up for a course, I mean, it's an opportunity. And as educators, we're all lifelong learners, and it's really a chance for professional development. And what a joy it is to bring that kind of level to you, to be able to help you grow and become the best you can be. And that you have an opportunity to work with so many great students on the Schoolified platform as well.
Yeah, very true. So Michael, I actually had a question for you.
Sure.
You've been doing this for a long time. What would you say are like the, on both, I would say the true tracks that you're going to be kind of, pursuing? What are kind of the biggest barriers and the highlights that you find in those sessions working with tutors, in terms of, where are there aha moments when you go through the training? I'd love to actually understand.
Absolutely. So some of the aha moments that I've seen with tutors, I would say definitely for sales, being able to, and this was an area that I had found difficulty with, and so it's a joy when the aha moment works with tutors.
Like with kids,
is just that struggle with valuing yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And saying, I'm going to discount, or I'm going to lower my prices, because if I have a lower price point, people will flock to me, and then I can get all these clients, and it's going to be amazing, and it's going to work out. And discount often means devalue. Yep. And it's reframing the mindset of what is your worth. And families are going to respect your worth. You're respecting yourself, respect what you can bring, value who you are, and learning how to confidently go in there with, this is what the program we have, this is the journey we're going to help take your child on, and then sharing that price point as just almost not an aside, but as a piece of the overall puzzle, not starting and leading with price and saying, 9 sessions for $99 or something like that. Going in with just, here's the experience we're going to take. So shifting that mindset. Also, I think for the finding your niche, that can be a real, when you're marketing especially. I found that's another wonderful aha moment at times. And I sound a little bit like a broken record, but I know when I started, I was like, I'm going to advertise my credentials, and I'm going to advertise all my subjects I can tutor, and how wonderful is that? Well, no. Take a step back and think, if you're a parent or guardian, that's your ideal client, and they're reading, or that's your audience, I should say, and they're reading that, they're hearing all about you. It's a mindset of what's in it for me. And that we really work on WIIFM when I work with tutors. What's in it for me? Think from that mindset of that family, and cater to that. And that mind shift is so powerful, because then you're thinking from their point of view, and it radically shifts how you market versus if you're thinking from your own point of view.
And that makes total sense. I'm kind of like, listening. It makes total sense because, on your first point, the whole pricing. Okay. It's not about price, it's a value.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
What value you bring. And to actually be able to articulate what that value is who are you? What's my niche? What's my superpower? Okay, which is so important. So it's a bit of an introspection. It's not like you're going to the psychiatrist, but there is going to be some work, I suspect. And just like with kids, you go through a session, it's not a lecture. I suspect you'll give them, or maybe give a bit of homework, okay? Because there will be work in between. It's not like, a free pass. Or are you going to be very light and nice with all those tutors who actually work?
So it's really going to be a collaborative process. Like, there will be action items. I mean, I find from my own clients and my experience working with clients, completing the action items gets you one step closer to where you want to go.
Yep.
So there will be action items each week of things to complete. And kind of also going on for those who are actually looking at the growth course, really a good aha moment. And something that I find is really, really powerful is actually from from 2 points. There's hiring team members. That can cause a lot of stress to hire people and train and really assess who's going to be right. Just remember, you're working with people that are going to be representing you, representing your brand, and take your time, because there's a buzz about, okay, I get a student, I better hire a tutor right away. Take your time, have a couple tutors on, ready to go and back on your Rolodex, so to speak, or on backup. So when students come in, you can match, but take your time to get the best possible people to represent and be with your VIPs, your students. And a powerful thing for groups, really good aha moment that I find for tutors is when you're doing groups, there's a pressure, I think, that we all put on ourselves as educators, Laurent, and with listeners, that we have to deliver as much customized, over the top, amazing service to every single student at every single point of every single piece. And you want to, of course, make the connections. The material might become more less hyper customized. You'll still customize it, but it's less individualized for a group versus one-on-one. But what is powerful, and what you can definitely, a great point that is seen as an aha moment, groups are a golden chance for the social emotional nurturing. And that can help to further customize your program. So think of it from that point of view. So not so much the academics, but think of the social emotional bonds that happen there too. And that's what we're going to help. Just how do you market it as a group thing? It's different.
Yeah, and I think there's always value in sharing, and collaboration. And the reality is that you always pick up from good ideas from others. Okay. And when you're in a tunnel and you're kind of you as an educator have a specific teaching modality. Okay. And each kid has specific learning modalities, but you actually learn from interactions with others. That's why, all educators, all people involved in a specific profession like to share, like to be in groups and learn from each other. Well, it's the same thing with kids, right? So if you're just living in a vacuum, you'd always be the same. You wouldn't be evolved. You need to be challenged. Okay. And you need to be pulled, right? So I think that's another value of groups. And what I found, and I've been speaking to a lot of the tutors who actually have been doing a lot of groups so far, they found a way to kind of get the parents to actually get it. So yes, there is that whole kind of sales process. What is your why you're doing this? Why, what's so special about your kid that I can actually assist? Okay. And then they kind of say, well, I actually have a program whereby it's groups, but then I have office hours, and then I have also one-on-ones, and they package the whole thing. Okay.
Yeah.
And when you look at it, parents then see, okay, well, there is actually an objective behind this. There is a program behind this. And from a cost perspective, they might come in for that, oh, I'm going to get this amazing tutor who seems really great for my kid. Okay. You sell them that session when you're in that initial consultation. Okay. And we offer that for free. We have the whole system to manage this, Schoolified, okay, was in that initial consultation. And then you give them, that's where you're going to be giving your pitch. That's where you're going to be getting your selling point, okay, to actually drive them into group and say, well, you're ready to pay maybe 55 or 65 bucks per hour. Okay. Well, guess what? You have the ability to actually do this for the next 3 months into a course, and your unit price is probably going to be maybe a bit lower. But from your perspective as a tutor and as a business owner, you bring in 5, 6 of those students in a group, and your revenue is just going to go off the roof, and you're going to buy some hours. Okay, so there is a beautiful mechanism behind this where everybody wins. The tutor wins because they make more income and spend less time doing it. The student wins because they get learning and all the things we did. And the parents obviously win because they see their kid progressing and they actually don't pay as much as they would want to. Okay, so it's perfect. Everybody wins. Better value with a lower price, but more revenue for the tutor. So, I call it the triple whooper.
Yeah. No, that's exactly it. Well, and Laurent, thank you so much for sharing that. And now, is there a registration link that we can post for our listeners today so they can sign up for these classes and also sign up for Schoolified?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think, if you're some of you might have received an email for registration. Okay. If you have not received an email for this registration for this course, well, register to Schoolified first, and you'll be able to then register for the course. That process again is like super easy. It takes literally 30 seconds to actually create an account on Schoolified. It is entirely free. Don't worry about the pricing plan that's published. One, it kicks in only in September. Two, we're actually not taking any payment information from you. So even if you decide that this is not right for you, we won't even be able to charge you. So don't worry about that. It takes 2 minutes, and then you will receive a follow-up email for registration to this course. If you already received your email, we're asking a couple questions to make sure you're in the right track, and that's about it. I guess it's pretty straightforward.
Fantastic. So I guess, does anybody have any questions for Laurent or I about Schoolified, about the program that they'd like to share?
Let's see. I'm in the chat. I don't know if people can jump in the conversation or it's only on chat. I'm very familiar with.
Actually, there's a question here from Mirka. What is how much is registration for Schoolified?
Zero. It costs zero to register to Schoolified. Okay, it's a very simple. Okay, it's entirely free until August 31st. Okay, then as I mentioned earlier, we will start charging starting September 1st. But if you give one group class before July 1st, it's free until August 31st, 2023.
Perfect. Okay. And when does the registration close for this class?
For this class, I believe it's on the 30th, Michael. That's what
of May?
Yeah, 30th of May, because classes start like early June, so we want to make sure that we're prepared and we have all this set up. So
perfect. Yep. Actually, Ryan just confirmed May 31st. We are that's our last day to enroll, and our classes start June 3rd. So perfect. And then are replays available?
Yes, they will be, I believe. And that's all on you, Michael. And I'll be in some of those sessions, some others. I might jump in on certain specific topics. But Michael is going to be leading this. He's been doing this for ages. I have the humility not to be able to actually drive this. So he's the one behind this. So.
All right. Well, no, that's awesome. So does anybody else have any other questions? Thank you, Ryan, for sharing those. Mirka, hope you answered a question for you. Does anybody else have any other questions they'd like to share? Oh, how do they know which track to register for? So is that on this? Would that be on the Schoolified site?
So when you click on the registration link, we'll ask some very simple questions about what's the state in your tutoring. I.e., the first question is, do you actually tutor already, or are you just thinking about it? So if you're in that kind of category, obviously you would really want to go through track 1 and start by track 1. If you're already tutoring and have been doing this for a while, it is something that you do regularly. You have a certain number of students that you already tutor per week, then you're primed for track 2, because that's where you want to start growing. Okay, but you absolutely can start by track 1 if you want to. Okay, and then we will move on to track 2 in July with the group that actually graduated from track 1.
Yeah. So. Absolutely. And sorry, one last question. How much is Schoolified in September?
So all of our all of our pricing is on our website. Okay, our kind of a base account is going to be $35 per month. Knowing that to put things in perspective, if you're serious about tutoring, you probably need a minimum of about 3-4 tools. You need your Zoom account. And yes, it needs to be a professional account. I'm sorry. Okay, so you're going to have to cash out, about $15. You probably need a whiteboard. You probably need a Calendly, which is like to take bookings and and payments and all those things. You add those 3 tools together, you're already over $50. So this is a point of comparison. Okay, where we're at, and all of those tools, the 3 tools I mentioned, are integrated. But there's a whole bunch of other tools where you probably would need another subscription, like a lesson editor, interactive assessments. All of those are actually bundled in the system. within Schoolified that integrated. So one login for tutors, one login for the students. So it's very straightforward.
Awesome. Okay, well, those are all of our questions for today. So, Laurent, it's been great. Look forward to meeting with you again and seeing our wonderful tutors at their courses in June.
Absolutely. Well, thanks everyone, and don't hesitate. We're on chat on our website. If you have questions, you want to follow up, go for it. If you want a demo, go for it. We have our calendar, which is available. But I really look forward to meeting all of you, or at least most of you, very soon.
Perfect. Thank you so much, everybody, and make it a great day.
Absolutely, and a great weekend.
Yes.
Thanks.